Howdy, and welcome back to Celebrating Vintage Model Kits. Going behind the Iron Curtain again with another model from KP. This is the 1974 kit of the Avia B.35. It's in 1/72nd scale and is kit number 8 from KP. We've got box art by a gentleman by the name of Jaroslav Velk. And we've got a signature on the bottom of the box here, or bottom of the artwork, I should say. And KP, we've seen a few kits from KP. KP is a Czechoslovakian company, and they started producing kits around 1969. Considered to be probably some of the best of the Eastern Bloc manufactured model kits of that era. And they produced kits up through the early 90s, mostly focusing on Czech aircraft and some other of the Eastern Bloc aircraft as well. They were revived again in the early 2010s. Some of the old molds were brought back out again, and I believe they still may be making kits to this day. So that's a little bit on the KP. So the Avia B.35, this is probably an aircraft that most of you are not very familiar with. It was designed originally to meet a 1935 Czechoslovakian Air Force specification for a replacement for the B.534 biplane. So that had just come into service, and they recognized that biplanes were on their way out, so they wanted a new modern monoplane. So that's what this aircraft was designed to meet that specification. And it was kind of a cross between the old and the new. Some of the construction was still in the older style. You had welded tube construction in the rear that was still fabric covered. You had metal covering from about the cockpit forward. And the first prototype, the wings were all wood. They were an elliptical shape, but kind of similar to other aircraft of the same time period, like say like a Hawker Hurricane or a Morane-Saulnier MS-406, that were still kind of half in the old, half in the new. Initially, they decided to go with the fixed undercarriage on it to speed up the development cycle on it, with the intention at the future date to put retractable gear on it. And it also has, as you can see here, it did have landing flaps because, of course, higher speeds of landing with monoplanes were happening. And the first prototype was powered by a Hispano-Suiza 860 horsepower Y12 YDRS, and that was replaced by the YCRS, which had the same horsepower but was developed to be able to fire a cannon through the cylinder banks and out the spinner. First flight was in 28 September of 1938. It didn't last very long. It crashed on the 28th of November of 1938, killing the pilot. The second one, the B.35/2, flew on 30th of December of 38. It was testing through February 39, and a pre-production order of 10 aircraft were ordered at that point. But that's when Czechoslovakia was occupied by Germany in March of 39 as part of the Munich deal. And so that kind of put a stall on everything. Development was resumed under the German occupation, and the third prototype, the B.35-3, flew in August of 39, and so that one did get the retractable landing gear. It was outward retracting gear. The elliptical wing was kind of straightened out on the front leading edge, and instead of being wood, it was a metal gear. It was also the first one fitted with armament, cannon through the nose, and a couple of machine guns in the wings. And this led to the next aircraft, which was the B.135, of which 12 were built for, I think it was Romania, and they licensed, produced them under in their country. So that is the history on the B.35. So this particular model here is representative of the B.35-1, so the first prototype. And I was able to, there's actually a pretty good video from Ed Nash's channel on this aircraft. So I'll put a link in the description for that. So you can check it out and see some more stuff on the B.35. So look at the kit here. Box is a little beat up here, but we've got some pretty neat artwork on the cover here. 1/72 scale, name of the aircraft. On the side, we've got KP in big letters, plastic model, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce this, but that's what the KP stands for. And so here they're showing you that it was the first prototype. And it's all camouflaged. On the side here, got a listing of the other kits that had been produced up to that point for KP, made in Czechoslovakia. We've covered, let's see, the IL-10 and the MiG-19, and I do have the B.35 in the collection, so we'll be doing a review on that one in the near future. On the end, we've got the KP logo and the aircraft name. And this is kind of cool. It shows you the colors that you will need if you want to paint it in the camouflage. On the bottom here, we've got this stuff. It's a little hard to read, and of course it looks like it's in Czech. So not quite sure what that says, but for our Czech readers, if they may be able to tell us what this says, great. You can see the box is kind of poor quality cardboard on the bottom. And this is printed straight onto the cardboard itself for the lid. It's folded over. And there's your lid. Here's our instructions. It's printed on a very thick, heavy paper. We've got a profile. Looks like the history of the aircraft, specifications. And we've got a layout of all the parts. And then exploded diagram. Looks like you do get a little bit of cockpit stuff in there. Seat, control column, instrument panel. Choice of 2 different propellers. Looks like probably a wooden fixed pitch and then maybe an adjustable pitch propeller. And then I believe this is your step-by-step instructions. Listing again of other kits in the series. Then on the back here are the painting guide. There is the painting guide. And with all the colors called out here. It's a pretty thorough instruction sheet. Fortunately, the decals are missing from this one, so we won't be reviewing that. Now, this kit, when I got it, had everything separated by this tissue. I don't know if this is actually the way the kit came or not, but it kind of has the look of, tissue paper from around that time period, maybe. So, who knows? So here we've got our clear parts first. We've got a stand, kind of a triangular delta arrowhead thing. And here is our canopy. Not the best molding, a lot of crazing in it, a little cloudy. And the framing is raised on the outside. The stand does have the KP logo on it here, which is kind of cool. And then next, we've got our wings, molded in top and bottom half. Got some fairly nice surface detailing going on here. Fairly delicate. We've got nice representation of the flaps and the ailerons. That's kind of nice. Very subtle. I think this oil cooler grill here. Pretty nice. Looks like we got a couple locator pins on it. And it's solid as opposed to being hollow on here. So there you go with your wings. And this sprue has fuselage. Again, some very nice detail. We've got recessed lines here. This would be the fabric covered area. And then a little bit of rivet detail that's really, really small. a lot more scale than what you're seeing, say, Airfix around this time period. And there's our horizontal surfaces for the tail. A little bit of flash on these landing gear pieces. But again, some very fine detail on them. Very impressive. And then here's our last sprue. This one has another fuselage half, a little bit of flashing on this one. There's our two different propeller blades, some flash on that. Upper engine deck with the troughs for some nose guns, it looks like. And some of our interior parts. We've got a seat, a instrument panel. There is some detail on wheels, a couple other little bits. But I'm very impressed with that. It's very well done. So there you have it. That is your KP B.35. As far as other issues of this, in the 90s, CoPro Mastercraft, which is a Polish company, issued it with some revised artwork. It's the same aircraft in the center of the artwork. It's got a cloud background on it. Then in the 2000s, CoPro did another issue utilizing the original artwork, and then again in the early 2010s, you had the KP, the new version of KP, re-releasing this, basically the same kind of box again. So that's it. Not a whole lot of issues of this. So relatively rare kit, I believe. From what I was reading, this is the only 72nd scale kit available of this prototype B.35. I think somebody else did make one of the B.135. But if you want the fixed gear first version, this is it. So if you have built one of these, absolutely tell us about it in the comment section. If you got one sitting on your shelf, take a picture of it, send it in for our next viewer build video. Well, thanks for watching, and have yourself a great rest of your day.